The starship Nova Horizon drifted silently through the dark clouds of the Xylax Nebula. Inside, humans and aliens worked together, studying new worlds and strange life forms. Among them was Evan, a young human soldier, known for his calm nature and quick thinking. He was finishing his routine check of the lab equipment when a soft, uncertain voice called him. "Human, can I ask you something? Private?" Evan turned. The speaker was Lira, a young alien girl from the planet Zeathera. Her skin shimmered in soft blue light and her large eyes reflected curiosity mixed with fear. She rarely approached humans directly, but today she seemed desperate. "Of course," Evan said, wiping his hands on his uniform. "What's wrong?" Lira hesitated, looking down at her glowing hands. I saw something about humans, and I do not understand." Evan raised an eyebrow. "What did you see?" She pulled out a small holographic device. A faint, flickering image appeared above it. Evan leaned closer. He could see a human baby being born. The image was messy, full of sounds and movement, and completely normal to him. But Lira froze, her body trembling. You do this all the time?" she whispered, her voice shaky. Evan blinked. "Do this what?" She pointed at the hologram. This coming out of you. Human children. It is horrifying. You do this willingly? And often?" Evan laughed softly, nervously. He had never seen an alien react this way to something so natural. "Well, yes, it's normal for humans. It's how babies are born." Lyra's eyes widened. She backed up a little, as if the room itself had become dangerous. "But the pain, the blood, the struggle, this is terrible. How can humans survive?" Evan realized she was serious. "It's not as bad as it looks. Humans are built to survive it. And the baby, it's just part of life." Lira shook her head. "I cannot believe this. My people, we do not reproduce like this. We glow, we share our energy. It is peaceful. There is no pain. There is no struggle. And you do this?" Evan tried to explain gently. "It's part of human life. Pain is normal, but we love our children. That love makes the pain worth it." Lara's eyes glimmered with confusion. "Love? You feel love, even in this?" Evan nodded. "Yes, pain is part of life, but it is nothing compared to the joy of having a child. You will understand one day." Lira took a step back, clutching her holographic device tightly. "But it looks like torture." Evan's laughter faded. He saw the genuine fear in her eyes and realized how alien humans must seem to other species. "No, not torture. Just life. Humans are strange. Maybe scary, but not monsters." Lira tilted her head. "Strange. Yes, scary. Yes, but monsters, perhaps? You are strong, dangerous." Evan felt a shiver. "Dangerous?" "Yes," Lira whispered. "If your birth, your children, this is normal, then your species must be very dangerous." Evan swallowed. He had fought many battles and faced many creatures, but he had never felt fear like this from someone who wanted to trust him. "Lira," he said softly, "we are not dangerous to those we care about. But yes, we are strong. Humans survive. Even when it is hard, that is how we live." Lira stayed silent, staring at the flickering hologram. Finally, she looked at him with a new expression. Her fear was still there, but now it was mixed with awe. "Perhaps humans are not monsters? Perhaps humans are something else." Evan smiled faintly. "We are different, strange, messy, painful at times. But we are also brave." For a moment the room was quiet except for the soft hum of the ship. Then Lira stepped closer and touched the edge of the hologram. "I must understand more. This cannot be all. I need to see." More, Evan's curiosity grew. He realized she wanted to learn, not to judge. But he also knew that her people might not see humans the same way once they understood the truth. "Okay," he said cautiously. "I will show you. But you must promise to keep an open mind. Humans are complicated." Lira nodded, a flicker of determination in her wide eyes. "I will try," as Evan guided her deeper into the lab. Neither of them noticed the shadows flickering in the corners. The silent observers who would one day question the dangerous humans. For now, it was just a boy, a girl, and a question that no one on the ship would ever forget, and so began a journey of curiosity, fear, and the first spark of admiration for a species that did things very differently, and yet survived. The lab was quiet, filled only with the soft hum of machines and the occasional flicker of holographic displays. Evan guided Lira to a small observation chamber where the lights glowed gently, casting soft shadows on the walls. She held the holographic device tightly, her fingers trembling. "You want to see more?" Evan asked carefully. "It won't be scary. I promise." Lyra's large eyes widened, reflecting a mixture of fear and curiosity. "I must understand humans, but I am frightened." Evan nodded. "It's okay to be frightened. I was once by your people's energy-sharing ceremony. Strange, beautiful, but frightening." Lira shivered. "Yes, humans are strange, too." Evan activated the holographic device. A new series of images appeared, showing human babies crying, moving, and being fed. To him, it was normal, but to Lira it was chaotic. She gasped. The humans. They scream, they move, they struggle, they bite sometimes?" she whispered, voice trembling. Evan swallowed. "Yes, sometimes babies bite, sometimes they scream, but it is normal. Humans survive this because we are strong, and we learn." Lira stepped back. Her glowing skin dimmed slightly, a sign of fear among her species. "Learn from screaming? From pain?" Evan nodded. "Pain is part of life. Humans grow stronger because we survive it. That is how we live." Lyra's antennae twitched nervously. "This is horrifying. Your species, you humans, you must be very dangerous." Evan laughed nervously, trying to ease her fear. "Dangerous, maybe, but we are not monsters. We just survive." But Lira was not convinced. Her people's method of reproduction was nothing like this. On Zedera, children were born in soft waves of energy. There was no pain, no struggle, no blood. Life was calm, pure, controlled. Humans, she realized, were chaotic, unpredictable. And terrifying. She stepped closer to the hologram again. This looks like battle. You fight. Even to be born." Evan nodded. "Yes, it can feel like a fight. But it is natural. Humans are built to survive these struggles, and we care for each other during it." Lira tilted her head, her large eyes studying him. "Care, while fighting?" "Yes," Evan said softly. "Pain does not stop love. Humans endure pain because we love, and we survive. That is what makes us strong." For a long moment, Lira said nothing. Her fear slowly mixed with confusion, then fascination. You survive. Such pain, and yet you care?" Evan smiled faintly. "Yes, that is humans." Lyra's glowing skin flickered again. "I must show this. To others, they must know what humans are." Evan hesitated. "Be careful. Not all aliens will understand. They might fear us more." But Lira was already sending the hologram to the ship's main network. The small chamber began to buzz as alien scientists on other decks received the files. Evan saw her hands tremble as she transmitted it. Minutes later, the communication panel buzzed. Messages from alien researchers poured in, filled with questions, concern, and fear. Lira read them aloud, her voice shaking. They think humans are a dangerous predator species. They believe our children could destroy entire colonies if left unchecked. Evan's jaw tightened. It's just a misunderstanding. We are not like that. Humans are survivors, yes, but we are not monsters. Lyra shook her head. They do not understand. They see this, and they fear humans. Your species, you are terrifying to them. Evan ran a hand through his hair. He realized the gravity of the situation. The aliens on the ship were beginning to see humans as more than strange, they were dangerous. Lyra's innocent curiosity had started a chain reaction that could lead to panic. Then, a soft chime echoed through the lab. A message from the ship's commander appeared on the holographic panel. It was urgent, all crew, human safety containment meeting. All aliens must attend. Human specimens to be observed. Evan froze. Lyra's large eyes met his. Observe. Humans? As in containment? Yes, Evan said quietly. They think humans are dangerous. Because of what they saw? They might treat us as threats. Lyra's glowing skin dimmed, showing fear. I did not mean... I just wanted to understand. Evan nodded. I know, but now it is bigger than us. They think humans are dangerous beyond reason. As they walked toward the main deck, the tension in the air was thick. Aliens of all shapes and sizes stared at Evan with wide, fearful eyes. Some whispered. Others muttered quietly to each other. Every step he took was followed by a nervous glance. As if he were a creature from a nightmare, Lyra stayed close, her tiny hand brushing against his arm. I did not expect this. Your species? Humans, they fear you. Evan looked down at her. Fear. Yes, but fear can turn into respect. We just need to show them. Humans are more than what they see. The meeting room doors opened ahead. The alien commander, a towering figure with silver feathers and glowing eyes, waited. He glanced at Evan and Lyra, then gestured for them to enter. Evan's stomach tightened. This was no ordinary meeting. This was a tribunal, a moment that could decide how the entire ship viewed humans. One wrong word, one wrong gesture, and humans might be seen as enemies, Lyra whispered, her voice trembling. Evan. They will ask questions. Dangerous questions. Be careful. Evan nodded, taking a deep breath. We will show them. Humans are survivors, not monsters. As they stepped into the bright chamber, filled with hundreds of alien scientists and officers, the doors closed behind them with a solid, echoing thud. The room was silent for a heartbeat. Then the questions began, and Evan realized nothing he had ever faced in battle would prepare him for this. The doors of the grand observation chamber closed with a loud, echoing clang. Hundreds of alien scientists, officers, and advisors turned to face Evan, every pair of eyes antennae twitching. Glowing eyes wide watched him as if he were a wild predator. The room smelled faintly of ozone and strange alien oils. At the head of the room, the silver-feathered commander Zithuran stepped forward. His eyes glowed with an icy light. Human. Evan, you are here because your species has been observed. His voice was calm, but there was steel underneath. Evan swallowed. He could feel the weight of every gaze. Even Lira, standing beside him, looked nervous. Zithuran raised a clawed hand. You reproduce in ways that are horrifying to our species. Pain, blood, struggle. Your young scream, your adults bleed. How do you survive such chaos? Evan took a deep breath. Commander, I understand your fear, but human reproduction is natural. Yes, it can be painful. Yes, it can look messy, but it is not dangerous. We survive it because we care for each other. A murmur ran through the room. Some aliens leaned back, whispering. Others recoiled as if Evan's words themselves were dangerous. Another officer, a tall alien with crystal-like skin, spoke next. Do all humans scream? Do all humans fight to survive birth? Is there no mercy in your species? Evan shook his head. Not fighting, just enduring. Humans are built to survive. Pain does not make us monsters. Love makes us stronger. Lira stepped forward, her small voice cutting through the murmurs. Commander, Evan, he is gentle. Humans, they care. Even in the struggle, I saw it. The commander tilted his head, intrigued. Gentle, and yet, your species survives the impossible. You endure chaos, pain, danger, and still thrive. His glowing eyes fixed on Evan. Curious, fascinating, and dangerous. Evan swallowed again. Dangerous? Yes, maybe. But humans are not monsters. We survive, yes. But we protect, we love, we care. The room fell silent. Then another alien, a small one with many eyes, asked something that made Evan freeze. Do human children climb, jump, fall, fight each other? For fun? Do they risk death? Willingly? Evan blinked. Yes, sometimes human children are fearless. They explore, they play, they fall, but it is how they learn. It is how they grow. The aliens gasped in unison. Some staggered backward, some lowered their heads. The crystal-skinned officer muttered, Your species trains for survival. From birth. Yes, Evan said calmly, realizing the truth in their fear. Humans survive. That is our strength. We survive chaos because we are built to endure. That is who we are. Lira looked at him, her glowing skin flickering nervously. Evan, they are afraid. More than I imagined. Your people, humans, they see you as dangerous beyond reason. Evan nodded. Yes, but fear can turn into respect. We just need to show them. Humans are not monsters. We are survivors. The commander's eyes narrowed and the room fell silent again. Very well. If your species is so resilient, prove it. Show that humans are capable of more than destruction. You demonstrate your care, your strength, your survival instincts. Even stomach tightened. How do I do that? Zithrin gestured toward a small cage at the end of the room. Inside, a tiny alien creature, a fragile, glowing life form trembled. That is your test. It has escaped the biolab. It is fragile, delicate, must be handled with care. Show us human skill, human nurturing. The murmurs in the room rose. Many aliens leaned back, afraid that the human would fail. Or worse, harm the creature. Evan stepped forward slowly, keeping his hands visible. Okay, I can do this. But I need your attention. This is not a fight. It's understanding. Lira stayed close. Be careful, Evan. They do not trust humans yet. Evan nodded. Slowly he approached the cage. The tiny creature hissed and shuffled backward, its glowing wings flickering in fear. Evan crouched, speaking softly. It's okay. I won't hurt you. You're safe. The room fell utterly silent. Hundreds of eyes watched him, some wide with fear, some skeptical, some fascinated. The alien officers whispered among themselves, clearly shocked that a human could show calm, patience, and care at the same time. The creature hesitated. Evan extended a hand slowly. The small alien sniffed, then, inch by inch, climbed onto his palm. Lyra's eyes widened. It trusts you. Yes, Evan whispered. Humans survive through care, through patience. Not just strength. The commander leaned forward, his glowing eyes softening slightly. Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps humans are more than The sum of their chaos. Lira smiled faintly. Yes, I told you, he is gentle. Evan held the creature close, careful not to hurt it. The murmurs grew louder, but now many of them were whispers of admiration. Humans, strange, terrifying, chaotic humans, had shown care, and Evan realized something important. Sometimes, the greatest power a species can have is not the ability to fight, but the ability to survive, nurture, and endure. The commander's voice echoed through the room. We will observe, but perhaps humans are not the monsters we feared. Perhaps they are something stronger. Evan exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of the room lift just slightly. Lira stayed close, her glow warming the chamber. You showed them, Evan. Humans are not monsters. Evan smiled faintly. We are survivors. That is what humans are. The small creature chirped softly in his hands, and for the first time that day, the entire chamber seemed to pause and watch the humans. With a mixture of fear, awe, and admiration, the chamber still hummed with the soft vibrations of the ship's engines. Even after Evan's careful handling of the fragile alien creature, the alien's whispers had not died down. Many were staring at him with wide, incredulous eyes. Then Lira, glowing faintly, stepped closer to Evan. There is more, she said softly. You told me about babies, but your species, your children, they must be something else. They fight, play, survive. I cannot imagine. Evan chuckled quietly. You think human children are scary? You have no idea. The aliens leaned in, antennae twitching nervously. Their curiosity was stronger than fear for now. Even Commander Zitharan raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? He asked. Evan took a deep breath. Human children are fearless. They climb, jump, fall, shout, run into danger. Sometimes just for fun. They test the world and each other to learn. They are unpredictable. The room went silent. Then an alien scientist squeaked. Unpredictable? How is that possible? They risk injury? Risk death? Willingly? Yes, Evan said, a small smile on his face. From the moment they can walk, they explore, they fight, they climb trees, they race cars. They even touch strange animals without fear. And yet, somehow, they survive. They adapt. They grow stronger. Lyra stepped forward, glowing brighter. I do not understand. Your species? You humans. Your children. They must be wild. Uncontrolled. Dangerous. Evan laughed softly. Wild? Yes. Dangerous? Only if you underestimate them. But they are curious, clever. And they learn fast. That is how humans survive. The murmurs in the chamber became louder. Some aliens recoiled, their wings trembling. One crystal-skinned officer whispered to another, if human children are like this, your species is not just dangerous, it is unstoppable. Evan raised a hand. Wait. Don't misunderstand. Human children are not monsters. They are survivors. They fall, they get hurt, they cry, but they try again. They learn from pain. That is how humans grow. Commander Zitharan leaned forward, his glowing eyes narrowing. You speak of growth. Through chaos. Through risk. Through danger. Willingly accepted? Yes, Evan said firmly. Humans survive. Because we face challenges. From birth to childhood to adulthood. We learn, adapt, and endure. Strength is not only in our bodies, it is in our spirit. The room fell silent again. Aliens whispered to one another, shaking their heads in disbelief. Lyra's glow flickered with awe. Evan, your species, it is amazing, terrifying. Yes, but strong in ways I cannot explain. Evan smiled faintly. That's human nature. We survive. We endure. And we care, even when it is hard. Then suddenly the lights in the chamber flickered. An alarm buzzed softly. Lira looked around, alarmed. What is happening? Evan frowned. I don't know. Maybe another lab alert. A small holographic display lit up in the corner. A tiny alien life form similar to the one he had saved had escaped from a containment pod elsewhere on the ship. But this one was faster, cleverer. It scuttled along the walls, hiding in shadows. The alien crew panicked. It moves too fast. It will escape. It is dangerous. One officer cried. Evan smiled faintly. It's just scared. Watch. He knelt down and called softly. Hey, little one. Come here. You're safe. The creature hesitated, then cautiously approached Evan. Lira watched, her glow dimming and brightening with excitement. Your species, your children, are like this too, aren't they? Clever, fearless. Yet, careful? Yes, Evan said. Human children are exactly like this. They test boundaries, explore danger, but they learn. That is how we survive. The aliens gasped again. Many whispered to each other, fear mixed with admiration. Zithran's eyes softened slightly. Perhaps humans are not just dangerous, perhaps they are extraordinary, capable of surviving. Where others would fail. Lira nodded slowly. I see it now. Your species, humans. Your children, your babies. They are strange, terrifying, and strong. Truly strong. Evan held the small creature in his hands, smiling softly. Yes, that is what humans are. We survive. Through curiosity, courage, and care. Not just strength, but spirit. The alien crew slowly quieted. Fear had not vanished completely, but respect was growing. Humans, chaotic and wild as they were, had shown that their strength was not just in violence, but in enduring, learning, and nurturing. Lira stepped close to Evan, her glow warm and steady now. I am proud of your species. You humans are not monsters. You are something more, Evan smiled faintly. Thank you, Lira. That means a lot. Coming from you? Suddenly, a tiny chirp echoed from the walls. The escaped creature had returned to Evan, seeking safety. The alien crew watched in awe. In that moment, they began to see the truth. Humans survive through chaos. But they did so with care, patience, and heart, and in that moment, Evan realized something important. Sometimes survival is not about strength alone. It is about understanding, protecting, and enduring. The room was quiet now, but the whispers of awe spread quickly. The aliens were beginning to understand. Humans were strange, terrifying, unpredictable. And yet magnificent. Lira smiled faintly. Perhaps your species is worthy of admiration, even awe. Evan laughed softly. It's called being human. And as the chamber settled, a new sense of suspense hung in the air. The aliens had learned much, but there was still more to understand. What about the next generation? What about the future of humans? And what surprises would they show next? The adventure was far from over. The Nova Horizon had quieted down after the chaos of the previous events, but the air was still thick with tension. The alien crew had begun to respect humans, but curiosity and fear lingered. Lira glowed softly beside Evan, her large eyes wide with both excitement and worry. Suddenly, the alarm blared sharply across the ship. Red lights flickered. Evan's heart skipped a beat. Another creature had escaped from the biolab. But this one was clever, faster, and smaller than any the ship had contained before. The alien crew panicked. Scientists shouted at one another, wings fluttered, and voices rose in fear. Commander Zithran's silver feathers bristled. Contain it. Do not let it spread. This human incident cannot escalate. Evan stepped forward calmly. He crouched to the floor and called softly, Hey, little one? You're safe. No one will hurt you. The creature paused, its many legs trembling as it scanned the chaotic room. Most aliens had retreated, watching fearfully from a distance. But Lira stayed close, her glow brightening. "Evan! Be careful. They are afraid. If you fail, they might see humans as dangerous again." Evan smiled faintly. "I know, but humans survive. Because we think, we care, and we act." The creature darted behind a console, then froze. Evan took slow steps, speaking softly and moving with patience. "Come on, it's okay. You're safe with me." The aliens whispered among themselves, disbelief clear on their faces. Some even leaned forward, curiosity overcoming fear. Slowly, the creature emerged and climbed onto Evan's hand. Lira gasped. "It trusts you," she said, awe in her voice. "Yes," Evan said. "Humans earn trust. That is how we survive, and how we thrive." The room fell silent. Hundreds of alien eyes watched, realizing that strength was not always in power or weapons, it could be in patience, courage, and understanding. Commander Zitharon's glowing eyes softened. "Interesting humans. Your survival, it is not merely physical, it is spirit, care, thought, compassion, perhaps. Humans are stronger than we ever imagined." Evan held the creature carefully. "Yes, that is what humans are. Strong? Yes, but also patient, clever, and compassionate." Then Lira stepped forward, her glow warming the room. I understand now. Your species, humans, are not monsters. They are brave. Even in chaos, fearless, yet caring." Evan chuckled. "Exactly. That's what humans do. We survive, we endure, and we protect those we love." The commander nodded slowly. "Perhaps humans are worthy of admiration, even awe. But tell me, tell me about your children. The next generation. Surely they are even more strange?" Evan smiled. "Human children are fearless. They climb, run, fall, explore, and sometimes drive adults crazy. They are curious, clever, and brave. They learn quickly, and they survive, because we teach them courage, love, and patience." Lara's eyes widened. "So, even from birth, humans grow strong and survive?" "Yes," Evan said softly, "and that is why our species endures. We survive the impossible, because we care, we love, and we face life with courage." The room was quiet for a moment. Then the alien crew began to murmur, admiration shining through their fear. Some even stepped forward, nodding slowly. Humans, chaotic, strange, unpredictable, had proven themselves beyond doubt. Finally, Zitharon spoke, his voice strong but calm. "Human Evan, you have shown us the truth of your species. You survive not through weapons or violence alone, but through courage, care, and spirit. Perhaps your species is something greater than we imagined." Lyra's glow brightened with pride. I am proud to know humans, to learn from them, even admire them." Evan smiled, holding the tiny creature close. "You should, humans. We endure, we love, and we survive. That is who we are, and perhaps that is why we are remarkable." A small chirp echoed from the creature. It had curled safely in Evan's hand, calm at last. The alien crew watched, realizing that survival is not always about raw strength, but about understanding, care, and courage, the very essence of humanity. Then Lira, curious as ever, whispered one final innocent question. "Evan, humans, your babies, after birth, do they really cry this much all the time?" Evan laughed, shaking his head. "Yes, and they will continue to. And so will we, because that's life. Chaotic, messy, sometimes terrifying, but always worth it." Lira giggled, her glow flickering with amusement and awe. "Your species, humans, you are Truly remarkable. Evan looked around at the aliens, the creature, and Lira. He realized that humans had won something beyond survival. They had earned understanding, admiration, and respect. Not through dominance, not through violence, but through the courage to endure, the heart to care, and the spirit to thrive. And for the first time that day, everyone in the chamber, from the tiniest alien scientist to the towering commander, saw the truth. Humans were not just survivors of chaos. They were extraordinary. The room erupted in quiet cheers, murmurs of awe and laughter. Lira nudged Evan gently. You taught them, Evan, your species. Humans, you are heroes even to us? Evan smiled, gently placing the tiny creature back into safe containment. No, we're just humans. Messy, chaotic, sometimes loud, but we endure. That is all. That is why we are remarkable. And as the ship drifted silently through the stars, a new respect for humans settled across the crew. Fear had turned into admiration, curiosity had turned into awe, and chaos had turned into understanding. The adventure was over. For now, but the legend of humanity, fearless, chaotic, compassionate, and enduring, would remain in the hearts of all who had witnessed it. And somewhere in the ship, Lira smiled, glowing softly, whispering to herself, perhaps humans are the strongest, not because of strength, but because of heart.